Mao Zedong and the founding of New China.
In September 1949, the first plenary session of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference was held in Beiping. The session decided to found the People's Republic of China and elected Mao Zedong chairman of the Central People's Government. It also decided to change the name of Beiping to Beijing and make it the capital, and adopt the five-starred red flag as the national flag. On October the 1st, the founding ceremony of the PRC was held. 300,000 people gathered in Tiananmen Square. Mao Zedong solemnly declared to the world on the Tiananmen rostrum, "The Central People's Government of the PRC is founded." It raised the first five-starred red flag, and it was followed by a grand military reveal. The founding of the PRC opened a new chapter in Chinese history. Since then, her people have become their own masters. The war to resist the U.S. aggression and aid Korea. In June 1950, a civil war broke out on the Korean peninsula. On July the 7th, the U.S. manipulated the UN Security Council to pass a resolution to organize a UN command consisting mainly of U.S. troops to enlarge the aggression against Korea. On September the 15th, U.S. troops landed on the west coast of the Korean peninsula and tried to seize the whole peninsula. They also bombed Chinese villages near the Chinese-Korean border, upon the request of the government of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The Chinese government made a decision to resist the U.S., aid Korea, and protect our motherland. On October the 19th, 1950, the Chinese People's Volunteers marched to the Korean battlefield
to fight side by side with the Korean People's Army.
In 6 months, they launched the 5 strategic campaigns in succession and forced the UN forces back beyond the 38th parallel, turning the tide of the Korean War. On July the 27th, 1953, the Armistice Agreement was signed after 2-year negotiation, and the Korean War ended.
The reform and opening up policies.
The process of these new policies was from rural reform to urban reform, from reform of the economic structure to structures in all aspects, and from internal vitalization to external opening up.
Deng Xiaoping was the major leader and chief architect of China's reform and opening up policies.
He initiated the theory of building socialism with Chinese characteristics. It means to carry out modernization with economic construction as the central task, and established a socialist market economy based on public ownership of the means of production.
From July 1979, the State Council set up special economic zones in Shenzhen, Zhuhai, Shantou, and Xiamen.
After more than 20 years of reform and opening up, China has made enormous achievements in the economic, political, cultural, and social construction. As a result, China's comprehensive national power and the people's living standards have increased greatly. Hong Kong's return to China. On August 29, 1842, the government of the Qing dynasty failed in the Opium War with Britain and was forced to cede Hong Kong. In September 1982, Deng Xiaoping proposed the principle of one country, two systems to solve the Hong Kong issue. When he met with British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, Hong Kong's capitalist system and lifestyle would not be changed for 50 years. On December 19, 1984, the Sino-British Joint Declaration on the issue of Hong Kong was signed, and the Chinese government would resume exercise of its sovereignty over Hong Kong from July 1, 1997. On the midnight of June 30, 1997, at the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center, Jiang Zemin, president of the PRC, solemnly declared the resumption of exercise of China's sovereignty over
Hong Kong and the founding of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region.
Macau's return to China. Starting from 1553, the Portuguese gradually asserted their power over Macau. At the end of the 1970s, China and Portugal reached agreement in principle on the issue of Macau. From 1986 to 1987, after peaceful and friendly negotiations, the Sino-Portuguese Joint Declaration on the issue of Macau was signed on April 13, 1987. It affirmed that Macau is a part of China, and the Chinese government would resume exercise of its sovereignty over the territory on December 20, 1999. At the night of December 19, 1999, the handover ceremony formally opened in the presence of Portuguese President Jorge Sampaio and other leading government officials. At 0 o'clock on December 20th, Jiang Zemin, president of PRC, declared the resumption of exercise of China's sovereignty over Macau by the Chinese government. Manned spaceflight. On October 15, 2003, Shenzhou 5 sent Yang Liwei, the first Chinese astronaut, to the outer space. He orbited the Earth for 14 rounds and returned safely. It marked a breakthrough for China to grasp the basic technology of manned spaceflight. China became the third country with independent development of manned spaceflight. On October 12, 2005, Shenzhou 6 sent 2 astronauts to the outer space to carry out various experiments. They came back safely October 17th. It was another milestone in China's development of manned spaceflight and the manned outer space experiment. The success of manned spaceflight has tremendous impact on boosting the international standing of China. It vigorously promoted the development of China's sports.